So we'll be starting tonight on our backs. So if you want to find a comfortable position lying down, and there's a couple of options you can do here as you lie down. So you can have your knees bent, feet on the mat, and walk your feet a little bit wider so you can rest your knees against each other. And that can feel really nice for your lower back. So sometimes it just gives a little bit more space in the lower back, a little bit of a relief. Otherwise, you can extend your legs out, feet a little bit further apart and just relaxing out to the sides. And that gives a little bit of relief for the fronts of your hips. So it just really depends on whatever feels useful for you right here in this moment. There's no right or wrong, just making sure it feels right for you. And your arms, I recommend to begin with, let's bring the hands over the belly, just relaxed here, just over the lower belly if you can. So around the belly button or slightly below. And maybe give yourself a little bit of a wiggle, just noticing how your body is feeling as it arrives here onto the mat. And again, for this practice, you'll need either a yoga strap or a belt or a towel, but you don't need it straight away. So you can just have that nearby. So with your eyes, you're invited to close them. Just letting yourself settle in. I won't let you fall asleep, so don't stress too much around that. But if that doesn't feel comfortable for you for whatever reason, you can have your eyes open and just lower your gaze. And what that does is it helps you to turn inward. It stops your optic nerve from having to analyze everything around you, and it just allows you to have this inward reflection. So let's begin by taking a deep breath in through the nose and a long sigh out of the mouth. Long breath. Let's do that twice more. So breathing in and a sigh out of the mouth. Do that once more. It just invites your body, your attention, your awareness into this space. When you're ready, just letting an easy breath come in and out of your nostrils, if that's achievable for you tonight. Just scanning through your body, noticing how your body feels. You might notice some areas that are holding themselves up with tension, even unconsciously. So sometimes it can be in the lower back or behind the ribs. So notice where there are areas of tension, of holding. And notice also where there are areas of softness. Just notice as well any kinds of sensations you might feel in your body. Could be circulation, something like pins and needles, or pressure, so where your body is connected to the ground beneath you. Or the touch of the air or your clothes on your skin. And start to notice your natural breath here without changing it. Just for the moment, noticing the sensation of the breath in your body. So where your body expands, where it rises and falls as you breathe. Or the air on the tips of your nostrils. Maybe a little cool on the way in, slightly warmer on the way out. Noticing the natural length of your breath. Is one side of your breath shorter or longer than the other? Notice the natural pace of your breath. Is it trying to rush and run a race, or is it quite slow and relaxed? Or does it change from breath to breath? So with our natural breath, it's not like we're trying to change anything, but sometimes when we bring our attention to what is going on for the breath, it will naturally slow or deepen. And when you feel ready, feel your breath start to move in towards your abdomen. So as you breathe in, sending it down towards the bottom of the lungs, feeling your belly expand a little more with each breath in that you take. So it can be as gradual as you need it to be. There's no rush or force here. But when we breathe into the bottom of the lungs, they press the diaphragm down, which presses the belly forward out of the way. That creates that expansion. So if that helps you find your belly breath, by all means, go with that. Once your belly is full, you might feel a little overflow of the breath as your ribs start to expand. Start to lengthen your breath out so that it matches the length of your breath in. Your equal breath. So you might feel the ribs come back into place first and then the belly relax. You're just finding this balanced breath, an equal length on both sides, a matching length. And with the hands over the belly, gives that extra sensory awareness of filling up, emptying out, but you can feel the breath in a secondary way. You might start to notice that pause at the end of your exhale. It's only momentary. It's just this bridge between breaths. I sometimes liken it to that moment just before sunrise, when you're looking out, waiting for the sun to peek out over the horizon. And you know that it's about to, but it's that moment just before where everything kind of stands still. That transition. So take a few more breaths just as you are, just like this. And then let go of the control of your breath here. Just let your natural breath return. Just noticing any sense of ease or effortlessness with that breath. And when you feel ready, start to bring gentle movement back into your body. So you could draw circles through the wrists and ankles a few times in each direction. You might stretch your legs out, Stretch your arms up above your head in a big stretch for the front of the body. Sigh or yawn if you need it. It's always welcome. And bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a big hug. So you might choose a little rock side to side, or drawing circles, going a few times in each direction. Or you may choose stillness. I find sometimes stillness feels even better. So go with what works for you. The knees can be together or wide. Take another breath like this. And then bring your feet down to the mat. Roll onto one side and help yourself up, finding hands and knees. So your knees are underneath your hips, wrists are underneath your shoulders, but maybe just like a half handprint forward. If your wrists are feeling sensitive though, you can come onto your fists and try that with the fingers facing each other. Sometimes that can just give a little bit more stability to the wrists. So allow yourself to play with that. For the purposes of demonstrating, I'll go with that one tonight, but we're finding our cat-cows. So as you breathe in, you're lowering your belly towards the ground, lengthening the spine, broadening the collarbones. So it's like you're trying to draw your chest forward. And as you exhale, press into your hands, scoop through your belly, look back to your belly button. So the inhale, your pelvis tilts forward, shoulder blades draw in and down the spine. And the exhale, the pelvis tucks, the shoulder blades separate. Moving with your breath. It can be nice to close your eyes here. That can feel a little nicer. So you're not worrying, again, it's that eye contact thing with anything. You're not worrying about analyzing anything around you. You're just able to be with the sensations. Take one more breath like that. And then draw your hips back towards your heels, finding child's pose. So your knees can be together or wide. Usually it'll be your hip joints that let you know what they prefer. So let yourself fold down, adjust as you need to, give yourself a little wiggle out if you need to. Have your arms gently extended out in front of you. Let your eyes close down here. Let your belly soften. Just noticing that space across your lower back. And with your hands, walk them off to the right side of your mat, coming into your side bending child's pose. So your left arm is stretching towards that right diagonal corner. The right hand comes beside your knee to help you lean into it. You might even draw your hips a little towards that left heel, creating as much space as you can along the left side of the body. So take a few breaths here. Try to keep your shoulders at the same height as each other. One more breath in. And as you exhale, come back through center. Take a breath in the middle, all the way in, all the way out. And then walking your hands off to the left side of the mat. So this time the left hand comes beside the knee, the right arm might extend away, drawing the hips a little towards that right heel to just create a little bit more space. Let your head and neck relax as best as you're able to. Taking a few breaths here. Slowing it all down. Slow and steady. One more breath in. And as you exhale, come back through center. Take a breath in the middle. And with your arms still extended out in front, flip your right palm to face up. So it's just facing up here. And start to draw your right hand along the mat towards the right knee. And then as you breathe in, lift the hips away, press into your left hands and circle your right arm open. And as you exhale, we press back, rocking the hips back. And inhale, opening up. Moving with your breath. Just letting it be this little bit of a movement, this opening. That's it. So on your next breath in, let it be this twist facing the right. And as you exhale, thread the arm through, landing gently on the outside edge of your shoulder. Relax your head and neck down. If you need to place something underneath your head, please feel free to. Press the back of the bottom arm down into the ground. And that top hand comes in front of your face to help you find your twist. So pressing the back of the bottom arm down activates the twist. The top hand can then help you find the depth. So you can take it as gently as you need to, or deep if you need to. With the back of that bottom arm pressing down, it activates the stretch, sorry, not the twist. Slowing your breath here. One more breath in and out. That top hand presses into the mat. Breathe in, sweep the bottom arm through and up. And as you exhale, lower down, rock back, find child's pose again. So your arms are gently extended out in front of you. Just notice what each side of the body feels like as you rest down here. And then flip your left palm to face up. Draw that left hand along the mat towards your left knee. Breathe in, lift the hips away, circle the left arm open, reaching forward, and then sweeping, rocking back. So moving with your breath here, getting this sense of opening up, of movement with your breath, exploring that breath. And with the next inhale, let it become a twist. As you exhale, thread the arm through, landing gently on the outside edge of that left shoulder. Again, if you need to place something underneath the head for it to relax, feel free to. Press the back of that bottom arm down. That top hand plugs in front of your face, guiding you into your twist. So you're twisting through the rib cage part of your spine. And only so far or deep as it feels good for you to. Slowing your breath here, making sure you are breathing here. Take one more complete breath here, all the way in, all the way out. That top hand presses into the mat. Breathe in, sweep the bottom arm through and up, find your open, and then bring your hands down. So walk your hands forward, you come into a low plank or low push-up position. And have your hands at least shoulder width apart, but maybe even slightly wider, depending on your body. Spread your fingers and really ground through the hands and fingers. Keep them grounded, but really press weight into the webbing between your thumb and index finger. And again, that just keeps the wrists a little bit happier. Let the insides of the elbows face each other and just draw your shoulders down a little away from your ears so you're activating the lats a little. From here, tuck your feet, lift up off your knees, press your hands away from you as you open the chest up towards the tops of the thighs. downward facing dog. So you're looking back at your feet. You might do a little bit of a heel pedal, bending one knee at a time, just opening up through the back body, through the calves, the Achilles. You can still feel like you're pressing the mat away from you with your hands to help keep active through the shoulders. Let your heels be heavy, even if they don't touch the ground. Bend the knees as much as you need to open the chest up towards the tops of the thighs, and take another 2 or 3 breaths here. And from here, start to walk your feet towards your hands at the top of the mat. Finding your standing forward fold. So this forward fold is your feet are about hip width distance apart. Your knees are soft so that you can almost place your belly on the tops of the thighs and keep long through the lower back. It's better than having the knees locked and scooping through the spine like this. We want more length in the spine than we are worried about the backs of the legs. They get their own lengthening throughout yoga. So you can relax your head and neck, maybe give your head a gentle nod yes or shake no. If your hands don't touch the ground easily, you can always just bring them to the fronts of the legs, or you may like to catch the opposite elbows, swaying a little side to side. Take a few breaths here. We're decompressing through the spine the opposite way that gravity holds it most of the day, if we spend most of our day upright, which most of us do. Take another breath here. Release your hands, slide them up your shins just below your knees. Your arms act as props, finding your halfway lift. So it's like an L shape with your body. You're lengthening through your spine. You're looking down directly underneath your head. And instead of drawing the shoulders in, you're opening them up. So you're drawing the shoulder blades towards each other instead. We're equalizing the blood pressure from our heads. One more breath here. Gently fold again. And then we slowly come to stand. So feel your feet press down, stack the spine, vertebra by vertebra. Arms circle out wide and up, reach tall, palms connect. Exhale down to your heart. We're staying standing for a moment. So here, see if you can just come to your standing position, your feet just in a comfortable position. They don't have to be particularly together or particularly hip width or particularly wider. It's just your normal comfortable standing position. But spread your toes and ground them and get this sense of plugging in down into the earth beneath you. Beautiful. For a moment, you can have your arms relaxed down by the sides or palms together at your heart, and just feel this sense of your heels. They're not actually moving, but it's like they're trying to flick out to the sides, and you'll feel the spiral of energy happen up through your body. Beautiful. With your palms together, interlace your fingers except for the forefingers. So it's called Temple Mudra or Kali Mudra. Kali is the deity, the goddess that cuts the head off illusion. So just for a little bit of philosophy there for you. So in that position, with the heels kind of still active here, keeping you steady and present, with the hands interlaced, you can breathe in, reach tall, and avoid bananaing through the body. So you want to keep everything sort of plugged in. Also avoid drawing or wearing the shoulders as earrings. So keep everything plugged in here. And take another breath in. And as you exhale, lean over to the right. And that right hip might try to sway back a little to bail out of the stretch. So engage the glutes, keep it square. Option here to lean into the right foot and hover the left. So we're getting a little bit of lateral activation here. Make sure you're breathing. Beautiful. Land the foot, breathe in, reach tall. Exhale, lean over to the left. Same thing, engage the left glutes to keep the hips square and lean into the left foot, hover the right. You may feel a little more or less wobbly on this side than you did on the first. Gently land the foot, breathe in, reach tall and just release the arms for a moment. Give your shoulders a little wiggle, give your everything a little wiggle for a moment. And then we come into our Kali Mudra again. So four fingers pointed, the rest of the fingers interlaced. Breathing in, reach tall, shoulders away from the ears. And this time we'll lean over to the left first, option to then lean into the right foot, hover the left foot. So it's a different side. Taking a few breaths here. Again, you may feel this one more or less than the first variation. Land the foot, breathe in, reach tall. Exhale, lean over to the right. Option to lean into the left foot and hover the right foot. Take a few breaths here. Beautiful. Gently land, release the arms, give your shoulders a little wiggle. We'll come down to flow again a little. So come back to the top of your mat if you moved. And you can breathe in, sweep your arms out wide and up. And then as you exhale, soften the knees, hips go back, chest goes forward, and fold your way down. Find your standing forward fold. Breathe in, find your halfway lift, so hands slide up the shins, create that length. And as you exhale, hands to the mat, step your right foot all the way to the back of the mat and lower your back knee here for a moment. So here, keep your fingers plugged down into the mat. So we want this sense of space through the torso rather than curving through the spine. And just take a few breaths here. You might be feeling a bit of a stretch in the front of that back hip. So make sure that front heel is grounded. So walk the foot as far forward as you need to ground it. And just make sure that back knee isn't too far in that you're kind of like this without much of a stretch. So you might lift it up and extend it a little further back, keeping this sense of length through the spine. And from here, lifting up off that back knee, so you're in a runner's lunge. And it's really just the back foot that's moving. That front part of the body, the front leg, pretty much stays the same. So you might even bring your hands slightly further forward and then breathe in, just lift the heel so you get a bit of a stretch through the sole of the foot. And as you exhale, press that heel gently back, stretching through the Achilles, the calf, really gently. So we're not forcing anything, especially if you are particularly tight here. So breathe in, lift the heel, exhale, press back. Moving again, 3 more times like that with the breath. So you might be building a little bit of unexpected heat, considering it doesn't look like we're doing much, but because it's slow, steady movements, we are. Beautiful work. Press back, lower that back knee, peel those front toes towards you, walk your hands back. So you're lengthening that front leg. You can keep a bend through the knee here, particularly so that you can have the stretch in the belly of the thigh rather than the back of the knee. You can relax your head and neck. Closing your eyes, just focusing on this sense of softness into the back body, rather than pushing or forcing here. So we're opening up that back line, hamstring. Take one more breath here. Breathe in, come forward, back to your lunge. Take that back foot and bring it across the width of the mat so that you can then take your right hand, reach towards the back of the mat, lengthen that front leg out and lift the hips away from the heel so you can come into your gate pose. So gate pose, if you imagine those old-fashioned wooden gates with the diagonal beam, you're creating that shape. You are that beam. So engaging the glutes to help support that opening and that lengthening. One more breath in. As you exhale, bend that front knee, come back to your lunge position. One more thing on this side. So as you lift your back knee, come back into your high runner's lunge, but lower the back heel, cut the back foot in on an angle, and line the front heel up with the arch of the back foot. So it's on one line. And bringing your left hand to the upper shin again. So staying low still, start to lengthen your left leg. So you're engaging the quads to lengthen the leg. I'm trying to move so you can see. There you go. And from here, you can bring your right hand to the right hip, engage your glutes, and start to peel open the chest. So you're coming towards triangle pose here. So engage the glutes to support you. It's okay to feel a little wobbly, but we're opening the chest up to the side. Engage the quads in that front leg. That knee doesn't need to be locked right into the joint. It can have a micro bend. You can have the hand, that right hand on the hip, or you can extend it directly up, reaching towards the sky. Triangle pose. Or if you want a little bit of an extra stretch, you can sweep it forward, reaching towards the wall in front of you, at the front of the mat, getting a bit of an extra lengthening. Breathing here. This is one of my all-time favorite ones. It just gets into so many good spots. So one more breath in. As you exhale, that top arm comes down, bend the front knee, lift the back heel, so you spin on the ball of the back foot, and step up to the top of the mat. Breathe in, find your halfway lift. As you exhale, fold, hands to the mat, step your left foot all the way to the back, lower your back knee. So we're keeping those fingers plugged down again, getting space again here. And just taking a few breaths once more on this side. So you might broaden your collarbones, feel like you're trying to draw the chest forward. And same with the hips, feel like they're trying to draw forward rather than this feeling of pressing down. And that just avoids them sinking into the hip joints. So with your hands or finger pads grounded, tuck that back foot, lift up off the back knee, come into your runner's lunge. So you might be feeling a nice stretch through the calf or somewhere around there. You might just walk your hands slightly further forward, about half a handprint or so. And from here, gently lift the heel, get that stretch along the sole of the foot. Really good if you experience plantar fascia. Plantar fasciitis, that is the plantar fascia we're stretching. As you exhale, press the heel gently back, getting a stretch into the Achilles and the calf. And then we move again, breathe in, lift the heel. Exhale, press back. 3 more times, slow and steady with your breath. Beautiful. Lower that back knee, cross that back foot across the width of your mat, and then taking your left hand towards the back of the mat, right leg extends. Lift the hips away from the heels if you sit back like I do. And then extend that top arm, reaching towards the back wall. So you're getting this length. Engage the glutes to help you get an opening. Keep pressing down through that bottom hand. Slowing your breath. One more breath in. As you exhale, bend that front knee, come back to your lunge at the front of the mat. Lift up off the back knee. So again, this is where you lower your back heel, cut the back foot in on an angle, line that front heel up with the arch of the back foot. And with your right hand, just place it on the upper shin. I like to start there. I'll explain why in a moment. But start to lengthen that front leg. Just engaging the quads. Engage the glutes here so that you can bring your left hand to the left hip and then start to spiral open facing the other side. Engage the glutes, really help. So just get this sense of length and space. And the reason I like to start a little higher with that bottom hand is because if we go so low that that top shoulder starts to drop down, we lose the whole benefit of the pose. So if you start a bit higher, you allow a little bit more space for your body. You allow that top ribs to stack over the bottom side of the ribs. And then you can go a little deeper if you feel to. Option, whatever you want to do with that top arm, you can leave it rested or extend it up, or reach it forward for an extra stretch if that works for you. Making sure you're breathing, creating length through both sides of the torso, even though you're leaning towards one way. One more breath in. As you exhale, bend that front knee, come down, lift that back heel. And from here, step forward to the top of the mat. Breathe in, find your halfway lift, and exhale, fold. Coming to stand, reach tall, arms circle, palms connect, come down to your heart. This is where you'll grab your prop. So whether it is a strap or a belt or a towel, whatever it is that you can loop is really, really helpful. So from here, coming into a little bit of a standing balance. And I'll take you through step by step. So what we're working towards is, I'll show you what it looks like and then I'll take you through it. So we'll start with this one, with the hands just grabbing the foot, or the strap or the towel, if that feels better for you, if you need a little bit more of that space. And the options will be to extend out in front or not. But when we get to that point, just so you're aware, we don't want to be extending out to the point where we're curving through the spine, right? We want to be open. So if that means keeping the knee bent, that's totally okay. So just to explain that. So grab your, I'm just going to refer to it as a strap. And for a moment, just get that equal grounding through your feet. Feel your left foot plug down, maybe spread the toes and plug them in. Feel the sense of plugging down here. And from here, you'll engage through that whole glute on the left side. So we did that lateral activation activity, so our brain knows how to activate the side body, so we don't get sassy hip by having the hip pop out. So it's all plugged in. And here we'll just lift the knee so you can place the strap or your prop below the foot. So just around the ball of the foot, and bring both ends of it on the inside of the knee. We don't want the knee to sort of turn out, but just for the sake of space, bringing both ends on the inside and catch them with your right hand. So this is where we're starting. This may be enough for you here. This may be plenty. You may go a little deeper. You can place your other hand on something if you need to. Or from here, you can start to extend if you choose to. But you might just stay here and work on balance. So work with what works for you, drawing in through the core and broad across the chest. So it's almost like you're sticking your chest out a little, and that will just help counteract that. And you're plugging that shoulder in, so it's not sort of pulling out of the shoulder. One more breath here. Gently release the way that you came out and shake out that leg, shake the hips, give your whole body a little bit of a shimmy. Awesome. You can shake out the hand too. Sometimes we forget about the hand that's gripping so tight. So from here, start to plug down your left foot, your right foot. Plug the toes in, draw energy up that right leg, engage through the glutes, through the everything. And then once you feel steady, again, a little bit of core activation open through the chest. Once you feel steady, you can place your strap underneath the ball of that left leg, bringing both ends on the inside of the foot. So here, you can just start here, keep plugging the shoulder into its joint so it's not pulling out. You can bring it a little higher. Maybe bring the other arm out, can help you balance if you can't place a hand on something. The added challenge from here is to find your soft focus point for your gaze. That will really help. So it's not this laser focus, you're open to the peripheries, usually somewhere beyond the tip of your nose. And if you like, you can start to extend your foot out. So you're all facing forward, making sure you're breathing. You can play, you can just explore what feels good for you. Taking one more breath wherever you are. Gently releasing, again, the way that you came into it. Shake it all out. Give it a little bit of a wiggle. Beautiful. So come to stand back at the top of your mat. Come and slowly bring it down now. So from here, you're standing at the top. Breathe in, reach tall, and then fold your way down, finding your forward fold. Inhale, find your halfway lift. And then as you exhale, hands to the mat. Step back, find downward facing dog. Just to finish with in our standing poses at least. Just letting that decompression happen through your spine, your neck, all the way through to the crown of your head. Lower your knees on your next exhale and swing around, coming onto your back. So coming down, have your knees bent, feet on the mat. And just take a moment here. Let yourself settle in. Let yourself just find your breath, find the weight of your body resting down. And take your right ankle, cross it over the top of the left thigh, coming to your figure four shape. So flex that top foot back and just have that knee out to the side, the right knee out. This may be enough for you here, or if you like, you can start to draw that left knee in towards you. The right hand comes in between the leg, left arm on the outside. Find your stretch here. So if this one is for you, you might notice the left knee just rocks in towards the center. So see if you can try bringing it in line with its own hip joint. You'll just get a little bit more out of the stretch. If you find that you're tensing the shoulders up a lot here, see if you can wiggle somewhere to place that left foot against something. So it could be against the wall, the bed, the couch. And once it's placed there, you can release your arms and relax them because something's holding that foot. So whatever works for you, you can let your eyes close. Slowing your breath. Take one more breath in here. As you exhale, release your hands, bring both feet back to the mat. Take a breath or two in neutral in the middle. Then your left ankle crosses over the top of the right thigh, flex that top foot back. And just checking in with how you feel here. And if you want to go a little deeper, you can draw that right leg in, catching a hold underneath the knee. But again, the same options if you feel bunched around the shoulders or neck, or if you can't let your head rest comfortably, place that right foot somewhere it can relax so you can release the arms. Keep the knee in line with its hip joint if you can. Slow your breath. Take one more breath in. As you exhale, gently release both feet back down to the mat. Take a breath or two in neutral. And then from here, finding your position for relaxation for Shavasana. So same options as the beginning. You can bring your feet down to the end, flop the feet out to the side so the muscles in the legs relax away from the bones. Or you can bend your knees, let the knees rest against each other. For the arms, you can have your hands resting over your belly like you did at the beginning, or out to the side, palms facing up. And try, if you have that option, try not to have the arms directly flush against you. That can tighten up around your shoulders. So see what it feels like to create a little bit of space there. And let your eyes close down. I'm going to sit up to take you through your relaxation. So stay on your back. I'll cue you verbally when it's time to come out of it. With your eyes closed here, you can start to notice the weight of the eyes resting back in the sockets. The feeling of your eyelids connecting together as you rest. Starting again with your relaxation this time by taking a deep breath in through your nose and the long sigh out of your mouth. Letting yourself just arrive once again to this sense of stillness. And just let your breath and the rhythm of your natural breath just flow, ebb and flow naturally, easily. You might feel all the points in the back of the body connected to the earth beneath you, feeling like they're growing a little bit deeper, a little bit heavier with each breath. Like tree roots growing deeper into the ground, and the deeper they go, the more support you feel, the more strength you feel, the more you are able to receive that sustenance and nourishment that is so good for you. And the more your body and you, your whole being feels that support, the more it's able to respond and relax a little, whether it's your body or your mind, relaxing a little into that support. Let yourself rest here as your body integrates all of the changes. All of the things that is learnt and opened up into throughout your practice this evening. You might, if you notice your mind is wandering and busy, that's totally okay. Minds are designed to do that, they're meant to do that. What's really important is that you do notice. You can bring your attention back to the spaces between the thoughts as often as you need to. There is no limit. Staying exactly as you are for the moment, just deepening your breath again. Getting this sense of filling up and emptying out. Noticing what essence of you are filling up with. You can take with you off the mat into your evening, into the rest of your week. And so you feel complete with maybe that new or revised intention of what you are taking with you off the mat. Start to bring gentle movement back into your body. You can wiggle your toes and fingers. Maybe rocking your head gently side to side if that feels good for your neck. You might extend your arms up above your head, point your feet in a big stretch for the front of your body. A sigh or yawn if you need it, it's always welcome. Bring your knees into your chest, give yourself a big hug. Maybe a little rock side to side or drawing circles a few times in each direction. Whatever feels good for you. Take a few breaths here. Rolling onto one side and stay on your side for a moment. Take a few breaths here. It's another one of those transition points. We actually live most of our lives in transition rather than at point A or point B. We're always in some kind of transition, especially right now. So let yourself rest into it and practice resting into it. It's okay and it is safe to be in that. And there is beauty to be found in transition. You feel ready to gently helping yourself up, finding a comfortable seat. This upright position, let your eyes close down again. Just find your breath here. Your arms can rest wherever you want to. On your next breath in, circle the arms out wide and up, reach tall, palms connect above your head. Exhale down the center line to your heart. Pausing for a moment in gratitude for yourself, taking the time out of your evening to fill up your cup. We can't pour from an empty cup. Gratitude for each other, for creating this safe, welcoming and compassionate space to practice in together. And gratitude for your practice of yoga that you can now take with you off the mat. Namaste.